talk with them, hang out with them, and yet they are deceivers. In the words of Jesus, they are wolves in sheep's clothing. That's what Jesus said. Oh, they are non-threatening. They're sheep. Oh, inside they're wolves. So these false teachers and deceivers, oh man, they're building, even their grounds will be ashamed to, if we compare our parking lot with them. Their choir, I mean, so beautiful. I mean, the appearance alone, it will not threaten you. You would say, man, this is the place I want to come back next Sunday. Forget Delta, man. Some people will think that way. Why do you think they have so many thousands of followers? Unless they will thought that unless they are misled. And one thing about this word lead, Jesus said they will mislead you because they speak and offer, the word lead means the way. They speak and they offer a way that leads to somewhere or someone or something which you do not know is dangerous. You see, when someone is leading you, make sure that that person is leading you to the right way. And why do you think we ask one of our people to pray for the youth? Why? Because they are youth. They can be easily led to somewhere, to some act, to something. And why we commit them? Because mom and dad, Sunday school kids, we're not always around them. We don't know who's leading them when they leave home. We don't know what they're going to hear. We don't know what they're going to see. We don't know what their friends are going to do. But that's why we trust the Lord is always there. We can commit them to God, that they will not be misled. Because Jesus says, there's always something that tries to lead them. Someone to lead them. In a wrong way, in a wrong place, in a wrong person. In other words, Jesus says, these deceivers will lead you away from the truth. These deceivers will lead you towards destruction. These deceivers will lead you away from Jesus and to something else. Isn't that what we find among these churches or groups that we know are not true Christians? They have been, people who goes there have been led to believe that they have found the right way. They were led to believe that they are okay. They are led to believe that this is it. We found the right one. Like I said, you cannot tell the followers of Kibuloy that Kibuloy is wrong. He is the appointed Son of God. Who's your pastor? Pastor John? Nobody. Kibuloy is appointed Son of God. That's why thousands of people are there. He even have, who's Kibuloy? He got a plane. What does Pastor John drive? What do you think of the Iglesia ni Cristo Manalo? Oh man, thousands upon thousands. Their followers is around the world. So you cannot say that, somebody said, what do you mean? We are misled. That many people? That's what Jesus said 2,000 years ago. You watch out because they will mislead you. And this is the warning for God's people. This movement called Faith and Prosperity movement, do you know that their churches are overflowing? Their offering is in the millions. Oh my goodness. But a lot of people don't know that they're being led by deceivers. Because all you have to do, claim that you have a new Mercedes. Just claim it. Shout it. A lot of people like that. Man, I will shout that too. But you make sure you leave your offering first before you go out there shout it. And look at their leaders. One of their leaders, he got what, 7 planes or 6 planes? Man. And yet they receive millions upon millions of donations or offerings. And they don't even have to be there. They just send their money. What do you think? Isn't that what Jesus says? Many will mislead you. And people who do that and follow that, they thought they're doing the right thing. During the time of the writing of this New Testament, Apostle Paul especially, there were also false teachings and false teachers. You read that all over the New Testament, warning that. And that's 2,000 years ago. One of the popular group of people during the time of the Apostle Paul are called Gnostics. And many of the writings in the epistles are to confront the teaching of the Gnostics, because the teachings of the Gnostics are so good to the hearing of people, is so up, it even gets into the church. And many of the church members are entertaining this idea or this belief. And the writers of the New Testament, they warn Christians during their time, you better not entertain those teachings because they will lead you astray. One of the popular teachings of the Gnostic is that, anything that is material is evil. The only thing that's good are the spiritual. So, this body, you live in the body that is evil. It's prone to do evil. Do that. Why do you think this way? Well, people are robbing and they lie because their body is evil. And that sounds right. And a lot of people do. And the Spirit is the one that is holy. You and the teachings of the Gnostic, you live in the body that is evil. But you yourself is good. So your purpose as a Christian is to liberate yourself from that body. So you got to beat it up. And you have to deny the body of what it wants. Asceticism and all of that. But what does the Bible say? Everything that God made is what? Good. So either you believe the Gnostics or you believe the Word of God. So, like I said, but every generation they have to confront a new set of deceivers and a new set of deception. Today, we got more of them. And they spread more faster today because one click of your internet or your text is spread out to thousands of people. And like before, where they really have to go out there and spread their bad teachings. Today is more dangerous. Now my question to you this morning is, can a true Christian be misled? So suppose you're a true Christian, right? Can you be misled? Have you been misled? Maybe you're already misled, you just don't know it. I don't know. But, see, I have to answer that to myself. The answer is, can a true Christian be misled? Absolutely. Why do you think this is written by Jesus? Because they can be misled. That's why he said, make sure no one is going to mislead you. It does not mean, however, that if you are misled, you lose your salvation. That's a strong Baptist belief. Security of salvation. But if you are misled, you will suffer the consequence of being deceived. I'm going to give you a live, true illustration. In the province where I grew up, during the time of the harvest, when the rice or the corn is not yet ready for harvest, then chickens and dogs, they want to harvest it now, ahead of the farmer. So what does the farmer do? I don't think you can do that here in the U.S. You can probably go to jail. They will put a trap in the middle of the cornfield or the rice field to catch those chickens and dogs. And the one for the dogs are mean and scary. We call it kantuang. It's a long bamboo stick with a weight at the end and a noose, like the one they put around the people we hang, at the end of that. So that when the dog passes through there, the dog will be catched and the dog will be hanging up in the air to die. But before the dog dies, it suffers first. But the way they do it, they put a trap, like a pathway. And it will mislead that dog, thinking that, oh, there's food in there. Thinking that he's going to have a free meal tonight or this afternoon. Only to be misled that would be his end or his demise. So, whenever we go out there and we have our dogs, you can't stop the dog in the province from going with you. They like to be around their master and they don't have leash. When we pass through that farm or that cornfield, we know there's a thing like that. We always make sure we call our dog always next to us, because you might wander out there and be dead. Or one night, like in the middle of the night, you know that in the province, you could hear even the sound of the owl at night. It was very quiet. One night, we heard a dog screaming for his life, quite a distance away. And my sister was awakened. And the first thing she did is call our dog, Bantay, Bantay, because we have two dogs, Blackie and Bantay, meaning Bantay. And normally Bantay will show up right away wagging his tail. Oh, but this time, didn't show up. So my sister has a must. That could be Bantay, fighting for his life. And so he woke up my elder brother. I mean, wake up. I heard the dog screaming there at the distance. I can't find Bantay, maybe that's him. So my brother bring a bolo, bring a flashlight, went there. And sure enough, it was Bantay, bouncing up and down in the air. Lucky for him, the weight was not heavy enough, because he could be bouncing back and forth and screaming for his life. And my brother get the ball, cut it, and he landed his body on the ground and ran away. And when my brother got home, Bantay was there wagging his tail with the thing still around his neck. That's the danger of being misled. Christians, when they are misled, they suffer the consequence of being misled. Good for us, just like Bantay, he has a master who cares for him. He has a master who loves for his safety and make sure he doesn't end up dead. For you and I, we are so blessed by the Lord. He loves us so much. One of them angels, okay, go get Jude there. He's hanging in his foolishness again. How many times did I find myself in trouble when I was growing up? In fact, and still today, my wife says, you're still in trouble today. I'm glad I can count on my Heavenly Father, Amen, who loves me and loves you, that every time when I got misled, He just sent one of the angels, go down there and cut the thing that wrapped up my son. Because angels are servants of God. Hebrews says they are sent to minister, meaning to serve you, to protect you. And that's what we do when we pray for these young people. That's what we do when mom and dad at night praying for their kids. That's what we do when we pray for one another. Because there's a lot of deceptions out there. A lot of kantuang all over the place. And God is always watching His children. Who got caught again? Who is screaming there? Because every now and then you hear Christians screaming. Could it be that they got deceived? Could be that they have been like that. Oh, wow. If you are a true Christian, God will not allow you to hang there and die in your way of being deceived again. He's always there to rescue you. That's one thing that we can count on God. He is always there to rescue us. From what? From all these dangers that we can be deceived from. And you know what happened, right? The biggest example of deception happened there in the Garden of Eden. When our first mother and father, Adam and Eve, was deceived. They were misled by the devil to believe the devil rather than God. Because God told them, the day you eat of that, you will die. The devil said, no, you're not going to die. In fact, you'll be like God. You know the rest of the story, right? That's where the first deception and misleading happened. And ever since then, that's the history of man on this planet Earth. And this is not only the warning to believers, this is also a warning to unbelievers, non-Christians. because they don't even have the Bible. They don't even believe on it, even if they see one. So they are easy prey for the deceivers. You know, these followers of these false teachings, they used to be unbelievers. Oh, but they hear the message. They saw these things and they flock to them. So this warning of Jesus is not only for those who come to church, but it is also a warning for those who don't come to church. In fact, they are more danger to these deceivers than us, because at least we can warn each other. We can tell, hey, brothers and sisters, you want to watch out for that group. So my question to you this morning is, do you have friends, loved ones, who are unbelievers still? Non-Christians. Because they can be misled. One of these days you might find them, I thought you don't go to church, how come you're going now? Oh, they found themselves in a wrong crowd because they are misled. They are easy target of deceivers. And that's why we just talked about our missionary support. That's why